Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I am going to upgrade my RedKey software from RedKey Professional to RedKey Ultimate. Now, a little bit about this. The company reached out to me a few days ago and they wanted me to review, I should say, the upgraded software, which I do appreciate that they did that for me. So, as I stated in my previous video, the software is updatable. They call it an upgrade, but it's software, so it's updatable. But since you're using a license, you're upgrading the license. It kind of goes a programmer can explain it better than I could. So, this is the same RedKey that I used in the previous video on the RedKey Professional. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take this key and I'm going to put it into my computer. I didn't hear the USB sound. Oh, there we go. Okay, so what's going to happen here? It's reading it as Drive J, but the letters do not matter. So I'm going to do a refresh list, and it comes right up. So when you do this, when you upgrade this particular software here, you could do the same thing with Windows 10. You could buy, let's say, Windows 10 Pro Home Edition. You could buy a professional key, use that professional key, and then you upgrade to that particular level of the license. Same thing here. So I'm going to select this, select device. It's going to check my installed version, obviously. And this does take a little bit. There we go. Alright, so here's the thing. I could activate it. It's already activated, so I don't need to worry about that. Or I could update the software. So I'm going to update the software or upgrade version. Now, if I would update the software, I'm updating whatever is there. When I upgrade the software, I am going to get it to the next level. So I'm going to click upgrade version. So what I could do, now that said upgrade version, and what happened was it brought me to this. This is activate key, enter upgrade code, which is what I have, which is what they sent me. Now, with the version, that's a different version of the key itself. So I'm going to activate key, the upgrade. So what I'm doing, I'm not going to show this part. This part will be edited out because it's a code for me. So now, as you can see, it is updating the version. And if you notice up here, it says the software installed is 3.72p, and the software available is 3.72u. Those letters have a significant on what software you're running. Now, I'm not sure if I said it in the last video or not. P stands for professional, U stands for ultimate, and if it's an H, that stands for home. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to update the software. And now I'm going to select Ohio. I am in the US. And then we'll see how it differs from what is already here. And the reason that this is in red is because this is the old installation that I have. This is going to be the new one. So just like last time, this will be 3.72U up here. Now, since as I stated before, this is a Linux OS on a thumb drive, what I'm doing is basically I'm getting the upgraded kernel. So basically, it's like taking files in Windows and adding a certain part to the System32 folder and making it the upgraded version. A Linux kernel is basically like the Linux System32 folder. That's basically what it is. Now, I know I stated that before, but I got asked that question the other day, so... and we'll see how stuff varies. Now, I'm not sure if I stated in the when I reviewed this the first time. Home is basically the average person who goes on their computer every once in a while and stuff like that. Most people use the computers every so often to go on the internet, look at the news, and all that. That's average usage of a computer. They're not going to have certain things on there like guys who, like me, who build them. So that would work out. Now, the professional is somebody who builds them and wipes the drive. Ultimate is used for higher end things like servers and stuff like that. But most people who use a computer only use it to do certain things. They might play an HTML5 based game. They might, have music on their hard drive or SSD or even a hybrid hard drive and stuff like that. Everybody uses a computer differently. So that's why there's different levels of the software for that. And also what is nice is this particular software, I know I stated it earlier, can be both used on a Windows machine such as this and a Mac. Now, the thing I want to see is I want to see if it'll work on a Raspberry Pi, see if I could wipe the SD card. Probably won't work for the way that the Raspberry Pi is set up, not the software. I want to iterate that. It's not the software. It's the way the computer handles the software is where you get into trouble. But that'll be something for me to try. Now, if it doesn't work on a Raspberry Pi, it's the Raspberry Pi itself, not the software. And you ask yourself, why do you want to do that? See, with me, when someone says, hey, could you test the software out? I want to test every bit of it. So that way, if somebody has a question for me, I can go, hey, I did it on this version. It didn't work because this particular board does not have the capability to handle this type of software. Alright. Before I exit out, you see that. So I'm right where I need to be. And there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart the computer. And we're going to go into the software itself just like last time. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to see what's different. There's going to be more options, I know that. But I like to see the differences in the versions of the software. So when the programmer looks at this and goes, hey, we can make an upgradable version, they look at the previous version. So when they made Pro, they looked at the Home and said, hey, because Home is basically your basic programming. Then what the programmer does is say, hey, for professional, they use it for this. So when they make the higher end version, they save the one before that and all that. So when they go from version 2 to version 3, they'll have the previous version and they just modify it a little bit. Alright, BIOS, let's boot sequence. Alright, so we're going to do RedKey first, obviously. So USB RedKey. There we go. And I'm going to disable that. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is push F10. So now that'll be the first boot device, like I did last time. There we go. So I'm going to push enter right here. And remember, you're running this from a thumb drive, so it's going to take a little longer to load, because the thumb drives are not as powerful as a full-blown computer. And just like last time, this did take a little bit, but that is okay. And again, this is Linux. You notice those numbers have changed because I'm running Ultimate, not Professional now. We're going to do 1. If you ever hear the term GUI, I know I stated this in previous videos, that stands for Graphical User Interface. Alright, so I'm going to use the default settings just like last time. And you can see it says Ultimate right in the corner there. So the upgrade was a success. Now this is going to be really cool when I see this. So it's checking my disks. Now, right, so it detected the frozen disk. So I will do that at some other point. What happened, what I did is I put, and I forget this because I don't use these computers a lot, I put a really inexpensive CMOS battery in there just to see if it would work. And it's not maintaining the voltage. So what's happening is, and even the RedKey team even told me, they're like, you better change that out, because and I didn't realize that I had that battery until somebody had said something. So we're going to use this one here. So I will do another video of the default setting here when I change the CMOS battery out. So I am going to use this one, and here we go. Now I can suspend it here. I could purge the RedKey data, which I do not want to do. I could do view disk raw data. But let's see, because I know my computer's going to do it, not come back online. So let's do suspend. I'm going to suspend the computer. So I will be back in a minute when it should wake up. I know I wasn't going to do it, but I figured let's see what happens. So I tried to suspend again, as you saw, and I had the same issue. So my CMOS battery, which is an off-brand CMOS battery, is not working correctly. So once, as I stated before, once I change that out, I will try the default setting. So for now, I'm going to use the second one there. So here's what I could do. Just like last time, I could do disk selection. I could actually erase on this one a thumb drive, which I will do in another video. I could do select external USB disks only, or select internal disks only. So if you have an external hard drive, USB based obviously, you can erase it through this. I like this option. Here's why. I have thumb drives that act up, and any other software that I try to do it with doesn't work. So I will try this with this particular software. So for right now, I'm going to leave everything alone, and I can go to basic menu if I need to. Alright, so I am going to click start, and like the last time, it's telling me the model number of the computer. Alright, so let's start. Now, the reason as I stated before, I have an off-brand CMOS battery. If I would use an Energizer one, which are the really, really good ones, I most likely wouldn't have that problem where the computer does not know how to handle the software. It's the computer itself. So at some point I will have to replace that battery. The Ultimate, as you just saw, has a lot more options than Professional. The reason that is the Ultimate is the highest grade of the software, this particular software, that you can go to. And I like having the highest grade because it's very versatile in what you can do with it. And here is the same screensaver, like that was in Professional. Let's see if there's any differences. Screensaver is the same. And no, I'm not saying that is a bad thing. Now, the reason I suspended the computer itself is I wanted to see if the computer would handle this upgrade differently than professional. It handles it the same. So obviously it's the issue with the computer. Alright, so I will leave this alone and let it do its thing. Alright, we are almost here. As you can see, it's been an hour and 19 minutes. And what I am going to do is there is a special screensaver after a few minutes, and we are going to see that. It's called the Matrix screensaver. Now, and there we go. It's done. So now I'm going to let it go to the screensaver, and we're going to see what happens. Alright, so that was a regular screensaver. When I did the professional edition and it was in the screensaver, when it was done wiping, it said data wiped. If I would have left it a little longer on this one, the Ultimate, you would get the Matrix screensaver. Now, what I just realized here is it has to be in the screensaver when it's done, otherwise it won't do it. So we're gonna look at the data just like last time. I could reset the wipe status. So let's see. So I did that. I'm going to return to the wipe menu. And there we go. So everything is still there. I could do this. So if I do, turned it off, but there's no external disk that right now that is capable of being wiped. So if we go do that, no, I'm going to keep the current settings. So anyway, with that said, that is it for this video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and click that bell for more notifications.